Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at the Pedders XTReme XA Coil-Over Kit fitting 2016 to 2024 Camaros. Quick note on fitment here before we dive in is that this kit is not going to work on your Camaro if you have the electronic dampers. Now whether it's the lowered look or improved handling you're after, the Pedders XTReme XA Coil-Over Kit we have here is sure to deliver both. This is a great choice for the street-driven car that may see some track time as well, since it's a very adjustable kit with track-bred tuning that doesn't compromise on ride quality. Now it's no secret around these parts, I love a good suspension upgrade, and a set of coilovers are one of my favorite things to do to a car because they can completely transform the way it will drive, taking it from a bit floaty in stock form to something that will carve corners with the best of them. Now Pedders focuses on suspension and steering in all of their products, so everything is engineered to make a difference. And there's a lot to talk about here, but we'll start out with the obvious. Now coilovers are definitely going to lower your car, but these are adjustable coilovers, meaning that you get to control how much you want to lower it down. If you want to slam it, drop everything all the way down, but if you prefer a bit more ground clearance, you can adjust them up and not cringe at every speed bump or pothole. Now this kit is going to give you between 1 and 3 inches of lowering. Up front you've got adjustable collars here on the body of the shock. Just spin this up to raise the ride height, lower it down to drop the car. Similar principle applies out back, except the spring purchase here are separate. These are going to be what adjusts the ride height of the rear of your car. Now the shocks are gas-charged monotube units, making them a bit stiffer and imbuing them with some more capable damping to account for that increased stiffness. However, these are not going to ruin the ride. In fact, you get adjustability here in the form of 30-way adjustable bump and rebound damping, which you can tune right here at the top. So it's just as simple as turning this knob at the top of your shock unit. And these are going to be nice and visible once they're inside your car. Just pop the hood. You can do the same thing on the rears as well. It's just right up here, this little collar you just got to spin. So if you're hitting the track or your favorite twisty road, crank that dial up, and when you're ready to cruise home on the highway, turn it right back down to the softest setting. This makes them a really great choice for a daily driven car that's going to see some occasional more spirited driving. So you can maintain good ride quality here with the ability to throw things around like nobody's business at the drop of a hat. Now of course you also get new springs in this kit, and these are meant for lowered applications, and they're developed with a motorsports focus so they can handle that stiffer damping as well. The fronts have a spring rate of 6 kilogram per millimeter, whereas the rears have a 12 kilogram per millimeter spring rate. So these are going to be stiffer than stock, but not so stiff as to punish you on every long trip. The spring purchase, the shock bodies, and your top mounts here are all constructed using T6 aluminum, making them super strong and lightweight. The shock bodies are threaded on the outside for adjustment, and everything features a nice powder coat finish as well. You've got black for the shocks, red for the springs, and your spring purchase in the rear here are anodized this cool red. So everything will be very resistant to rust, corrosion, and the elements in general. Plus it comes with all the tools you need, and again you get new top mounts out front and new bushings for the rear shocks as well, so it's a pretty substantial refresh. Pricing comes in at about $1,400, and for all you're getting here, I'd say it's a pretty darn good value. There's a lot of adjustability here backed by good quality parts and research. So if you're looking for solid coilovers that can pull double duty on the street and on the track, these are going to be a great option for you, especially because of that adjustable damping. Installation is going to get a 3 out of 3 and should take you about 5 hours to complete. Now this is a lot of stuff to do, and it's going to take some time to get it done right. However, since these are coilovers, that means there's no need to mess with the spring compressor or anything like that. Especially up front, these are just going to bolt right on. So everything is going to bolt into place. You don't have to modify anything on the car itself. Just know that this is going to take you some time, and you're going to need to be pretty precise to make adjustments and get the right height exactly where you want it and have your car sitting nice and even. With that though, let's head out to the install bay and we'll show you how to get this one done.
For this install you need a 1/2 inch and 3/8 impact, 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 extension, a pry bar, clip removal tool, bungee cord, a 24, 18, 15, 15 swivel, 13, 12, and 10 millimeter socket, a 21, 18, 15, 14, 6 millimeter wrench, a 4 millimeter Allen wrench, and also not shown be a lift and pull jacks. All right, today we're going to be installing some coilovers on our Camaro. First, we're going to watch a quick video how to install the stock system, and then we're going to come back here and install the new parts.
So our first step is going to be to remove our brake line and ABS line from the bracket that is on the strut itself. So we'll go ahead and grab our 10 mil socket on our ratchet and run this 10 millimeter bolt off. ahead and take that out. Make sure that is separated. Then we can go ahead and screw this right back in so we know where it's at. Then we can go ahead and pop this clip off of here for our ABS line. We'll go ahead and grab our clip removal tool and pop that off. Pop that off. Make sure that's free. Next, we can go ahead and remove our sway bar end link from our strut mount. And to do that, we'll grab an 18mm socket and extension on our impact. Go ahead and pop this off. Go ahead and pull that back out of the way. Then we'll go ahead and put that nut right back on our end link just so we don't lose track of it. Next, we can go ahead and remove the nuts from our mounting bolts here from our knuckle to our strut. So to do that, we're going to grab our 24mm socket on our impact and a 21mm wrench. We'll go ahead and run these off. That one out. So you may have to switch out to your air-powered impact, which we're doing right now. Go ahead and get these off. So now we've got the vehicle lowered down a bit, and we've got a floor jack underneath our lower control arm here, right on our lower ball joint. That's just going to help support our lower pieces of our suspension once we release this from the strut mount and everything is kind of swinging on its own. So now we'll go ahead and remove the two bolts holding our knuckle and our strut together. We'll kind of release the tension here, pop these out. And once you have that out, your knuckle should swing free. Now you want to make sure your brake line and your ABS line don't get caught up on anything. And you don't just want to let this fall right out. Go ahead and grab a bungee cord or something like that so you can hook in through here. And that's just going to prevent everything from swinging too much and putting excess tension on your lower ball joint or your brake line and ABS line. And now our strut is free, so we can go ahead and remove the upper mounting nuts and get this out. So now we can come into our engine bay here to our strut tower and remove the three 13mm bolts holding our factory strut in place. So we'll grab our 13mm socket on our impact and go ahead and loose these up, while at the same time we're going to reach into our wheel well and support our strut so that we can grab it when it comes free. So as you remove your last one, you want to support your strut. And as that one is unbolted, we can now remove our strut from the vehicle. So now to get our strut out, what we're going to do is drop this down enough to get our top hat and top of the strut out of the wheel well. We're going to fish it out this way. Now once you have this out for this side, you can go ahead and repeat the same steps for the other side. So for the rear, we're going to need to remove this lower plastic cover here on our spring bucket / lower control arm in order to access the hardware we need to. So we've got our clip removal tool, and we're going to remove the 4 clips holding this in place first. We can just go ahead and set that aside for now. So now we have a pole jack under our lower control arm. This is going to help support our lower suspension once we remove the components when we need to. And we're going to start with our sway bar end link here. So we're going to remove this bolt using our 15mm swivel socket and extension on our impact. And it may need to put a little bit of tension on your sway bar in order to get this bolt all the way out. Go ahead and pop that out. So next we're going to go ahead and remove our lower shock mounting bolt. So we'll grab our 18mm socket on our impact. Go ahead and get that off. We can use our pole jack to kind of relieve the stress on here so we don't mess up our threads on the way out. ahead and pop that out. So next we can go ahead and remove the upper mounting bolt for our shock and get that out of the way. So we'll grab our 15 mil ratcheting wrench and go ahead and get that off. Now these fender liners are split from the factory to allow easier access to this. Now if you do find your shock shaft to be spinning, they do make an indent on the top of your shaft, which we'll need to go ahead and use and grab that. So now we've gone ahead and put a 6mm wrench on the top of our shaft here to hold that in place. Go ahead and start loosening this up. Go ahead and remove our mounting nut. Go ahead and drop our shock down. Go ahead and compress it just a little bit. You can easily do this by hand. Go ahead and remove your factory shock. Alrighty guys, now that we have our shock out, it's time to go ahead and get this spring out. So what we're gonna do is we have our pole jack underneath our lower control arm here, and we're gonna remove this outer mounting bolt to our knuckle. So we'll grab our 15 mil socket and extension on our impact for the front side here. And then we have a 15mm wrench for the nut directly on the back side. We'll go ahead and run this out. Go ahead and pop that bolt out. Then we can go ahead and lower our pole jack here. That's going to give us the clearance to remove our spring. Go ahead and pull down on this. And we can pop our spring out of its perch here. Go ahead and remove that. We can pop our isolators out as well.
All right, now we're going to install our new front coilovers. They are side dependent, so to make sure you have the right one. Now what you're going to do is get your height adjusted to around where you want, how much drop you want, then you can do further adjustment while in the car. So we're going to get our strut into place and then tighten down our top mount. All right, now we're going to get our studs into place and install our supplied nuts. We're going to grab our impact and 12mm socket and tighten them down. All right, now we're going to get our bungee cord out of the way and reinstall our two lower shock bolts, or strut bolts. All right, now we're going to reinstall our strut bolts. Bottom one might be hard to see. We're just going to put them back in place. Thread on our nuts. All right, now we're going to grab our impact and 24mm socket and tighten those down. Also with a 21mm wrench. All right, now we're going to reinstall our sway bar link to our strut. Thread on our nut. Grab our impact extension and 18mm socket, tighten that down. All right, we have our 10mm bolt for our brake line. Grab our ratchet and tighten that down. And then just put our push clip to our spot here. All right, now you just go ahead and repeat those same steps on the other side. All right, now we're gonna come back to our rear and install our rear spring and shock. First thing, we just have to remove our lower spring isolator because that was left in. All right, it's just sitting in the bottom of the control arm. Just lift that out. All right, now we're gonna put our rear spring in with our adjuster. You will see there is a lower mount, our spring, our adjuster, and then our top mount. So just wanna set that into place. You will see our adjuster is on the top just to allow easier access while it's in the car. All right, we're just gonna set it in place. All right, you just let it rest there, then we can get our shock in and all of our other hardware. All right, now we're gonna start with our lower control arm bolt. So we're gonna grab our pull jack and a pry bar just to get everything lined up. And we can get our bolt started. All right, we'll get our nut on the back side. And we'll grab our impact with a 15mm socket, 18mm wrench, and tighten that down. All right, now we're gonna get our rear shock into place. Just set it in the control arm. You can compress it by hand. And then get it into our top mount. All right, now we're gonna get our lower shock mount lined up and install our bolt. Grab our impact and 18mm socket and tighten that down. All right, now we have our lower control arm jacked up with our pole jack because this is shorter, so we can get our top plate and our nut on top of our shock. Now we're gonna get our 14mm ratcheting wrench and a 4mm Allen and tighten this down. All right, now we're gonna reinstall our bolt for our lower sway bar length. We're gonna grab our 15mm ratcheting wrench and tighten that down. All right, now we're gonna put our cover on for our lower control arm and reinstall all 4 of our plastic push clips. All right, now you can go to repeat those same steps on the other side. And once you have that done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put wheels back on the car, put the vehicle on the ground, and adjust the ride height if we need it. If you need to adjust the ride height, there are supplied spanner wrenches to do so. All right, a quick little demonstration of how to adjust these. You're gonna have 2 spanner wrenches. You're gonna have 2 locking rings. To loosen them up, you're gonna spin them away from each other, and then you'll be able to spin the adjusting ring, and then you're gonna tighten them again by tightening them into each other. So they're just gonna lock on different parts of the ring, and this will be spinning them in together to lock them together. And then if you flip them, that'll loosen it up so that you can grab a spanner wrench and adjust as needed. And then just make sure that you tighten it back down against each other. And then you can do the same thing on the front, which will be very similar to the rear. All right, and that wraps up our install of our Pedders XTREME XA Coil-Over Kit for our 2016 and newer Camaro. And remember, for everything Camaro, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.